Hey guys, Jason here. Welcome back. Got something to share with you called Lines of Battle. This is a game of Napoleonic tactics. Kind of a special game for us. Special in that it's our 8th release, and it is a free release. No money involved here. I guess unless you sell it on the black market. But all jokes aside, this is a free game, and the entry has just been accepted on Board Game Geek for Lines of Battle. And it always feels like the official birth of a game when you submit it to Board Game Geek and they create a little entry for it there. So the game is official, it's live. The files will soon enough be uploaded so that you can download them and play. Regarding these files, they are going to be printed out on double-sided landscape setting. Once they print out, you fold down the middle, and you will do this for your rules booklet, and you will do this for your scenario booklet. And then you have two separate single sheets of paper that will include your counters, a little quick player aid, and the game board itself. So this is the cover that I finally settled on. And for those of you that are familiar with Black Flag, yes, Black Flag was an inspiration. Just kind of variated it a little bit and threw the Russians there in each block. And it may look simple enough, but I go through tons and tons and tons of variations before I settle on something. So this is actually the end of a long journey regarding that. So this is the title, and I'm pretty happy with that. Enough about the title. Let's move to the rules booklet, which would be this. So again, this is might look a little funky as you're viewing it on your computer, but when you print it out, it'll all make sense, and that is because when you fold it, it all adds up. So this would be the back of the booklet, and this would be your front, and etc. I think it's only like four pages, so counting front and back, half a page each, it's like 8 pages. Not a lot of rules at all. There isn't a whole lot of overly complex concepts in here. That is intentional. I wanted this thing to be played, not studied. So that's the reasoning behind that. That is the rules booklet, and the overall aesthetic for this game is black and white, so you won't need to blow out any color toner or ink cartridges. Black and white is what this was designed to be. So unless you get creative, you're stuck with black and white. And then you have the scenario booklet, 6 scenarios included. It's going to have the situation at game start, the setup. The only thing you will need to determine is where you place your leaders, and then roll from there. The initiative chits that you start out with, the numbers for each side are listed for you, as well as the starting morale. I'll get to that stuff when I explain the rules. So again, 6 scenarios, and that would be your scenario booklet, at least at this point in time. That brings us to counter sheet. These are your counters. Straightforward stuff here. Infantry, cavalry, artillery, objectives, and then your leaders. 3 chevrons represents a marshal, and 2 represents a colonel, and a general rather, 1 represents a colonel. So these are your initiative chits that you'll be drawing to see who goes during a turn. Here's a little quick reference sheet with everything that you might need to refer back to, and then a couple examples of the command, which is really where the heart of this game is in the command structure here, and we'll get into that soon enough. So let's go to the board proper, which would be this. What you see before you is scenario 4 at game start, and again, there are 6 scenarios included. I'd encourage anybody to come up with their own. I too will be adding to the scenario Canaan at my leisure, but would like to see the number of scenarios grow accordingly. So again, this is scenario 4. None of these scenarios are overly complex. You don't have to start, which is what I'm going to recommend. You start with scenario 4, but it's not mandatory. Again, none of these are overly complex that you shouldn't be able to grasp fairly quickly. So let's go over what each unit can do, how command works, and then we'll cut to perhaps an example of play. So the infantry units here with the X's, they can move 1 or 2 spaces, and if they end up adjacent, let me back up. If you move 1 space, you non-adjacent to a unit, that's fine. If you move 1 space adjacent to a unit, you can battle or conduct combat, but you cannot move your full movement allotment and end adjacent to an enemy unit. That's what I'm trying to say. Artillery only move 1, but they have a range of up to 3 squares away. And the cavalry can move up to 3. What else? Your leaders can move up to 1 or 2. Cannot conduct combat, but they can be attacked. And then your objectives, which reminds me, how do you win this thing? Each scenario consists of 9 turns, right? And immediate victory occurs upon capturing both of these objectives, or eliminating all 3 of your opponent's leaders. If neither of those conditions happen by the end of the game, you would add up the number of units eliminated, and if you have captured 1 objective, that would count as 5 points. So just tally your point totals and see who has more. That is how you win in lines of battle. And then, am I forgetting anything? Oh, command. So the leaders project, and they're always in command, I should add, but the leaders project lines of command that extend a certain length, which depends on the rank. So the highest, your marshal with 3 chevrons, has a reach of 12 squares. Your general has a reach of 8 squares, and your colonel has a reach of 4 squares. Now here's where the interesting part comes in. This is your chess-like mechanic at work. The lines must extend vertically, horizontally, or diagonally in a perfect straight line. It isn't a circumference area projection type of deal. You can't turn your lines and go left and right. They need to be straight up and down, left, right, or diagonal. And trust me, this makes for some interesting considerations as the game moves along. That is how command works. Also, you can be in command by simply being adjacent to a unit that is in command. And of course, enemy units can block lines of command. So if you want to be able to do anything, you need to be in command, otherwise you're doing nothing. That is lines of battle in a nutshell. And in the next video, which I'll put up soon enough, we'll go over some gameplay in action, and then leave it at that. So thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.